It began like any other late-night traffic stop. Just after 11:30 p.m., deputies with the Kershaw County Sheriff's Department were patrolling a quiet stretch of Highway 601 in South Carolina. A small silver sedan caught their eye. Its taillight was busted, the car drifted between lanes, and something just didn't feel right. Routine stop, they figured. Maybe a drunk driver, maybe someone distracted on their phone. Nothing unusual. But what unfolded next would become one of the most chilling discoveries in recent department history. A case that would leave even seasoned officers stunned into silence. Behind the wheel was 39-year-old Angela Strother. On the surface, she seemed ordinary. No obvious signs of intoxication, no screaming, no suspicious movements. She pulled over, rolled down the window, and spoke calmly with the deputy. But as the officer leaned in to speak with her, something hit him. Not words, not her attitude. A smell, faint at first, but unmistakable. It wasn't alcohol. It wasn't drugs. It was the smell of decomposition. Still trying to remain calm, the deputy asked Angela where she was headed. Her answers were short and vague. Just going home, she said, coming from a friend's place. When asked if she had anyone else in the car, she shook her head. No, just me. But her body language told a different story. Her hands trembled slightly, her voice cracked. And when asked if he could search the vehicle, she hesitated. Just for a split second, that was enough. With probable cause based on the odor, the deputies asked her to step out of the car. She complied, but wouldn't make eye contact. She stood still as officers opened the trunk. What they found would shift this from a traffic stop to a homicide investigation. Inside the trunk were two bodies wrapped in blankets, carefully positioned, as if placed there with deliberate care. The blankets were soaked through, and the smell was now overwhelming. One was a teenage girl, the other, a young man, both clearly deceased. Neither had visible signs of recent trauma, no gunshot wounds or bleeding, but they'd been dead long enough for decay to set in. Angela was immediately placed under arrest. She didn't resist, didn't scream, didn't say a word. Back at the station, fingerprint analysis and records confirmed what many feared. One of the victims was her own daughter, a girl in her late teens. The other was believed to be the daughter's boyfriend. Detectives launched a full-scale investigation that same night. They obtained a warrant and searched Angela's apartment. What they found added new layers to an already disturbing case. Inside her small two-bedroom unit, investigators discovered handwritten notes, grocery lists with strange items circled, and several internet search queries printed out, all related to poisoning, suffocation, and hiding the smell of decomposition. One paper simply read, "They'll forgive me in heaven." Angela, meanwhile, remained silent during questioning. No confession, no denials, no explanation. Neighbors described her as quiet. Maybe too quiet. One woman, who lived across the hall, told reporters that Angela was always polite but rarely seen outside. "I'd see her daughter on the steps sometimes, but never any visitors. No yelling, no drama. Just silence." But the silence, it seemed, had masked a dark descent into something unthinkable. As investigators pieced together the timeline, a rough picture began to emerge. Angela's daughter had stopped attending school about a month prior. Friends tried texting but got no reply. Social media activity stopped completely. The boyfriend, likewise, had been reported missing by his mother just days earlier. Authorities believe the deaths occurred sometime in the past week. Preliminary toxicology reports indicated both victims may have been sedated, possibly with over-the-counter sleep aids or prescription medication. But the big question still hung in the air. Why Angela had no known history of mental illness, no active criminal record, no complaints filed by Child Protective Services. From the outside, she appeared to be a struggling but functioning single mother, and yet, here she was, charged with 2 counts of murder, facing life in prison, or worse. At her first court appearance, she showed no emotion. Dressed in an oversized jail-issued jumpsuit, she stared straight ahead as the judge denied her bond. Family members of the victims sat just feet away, some openly weeping, others just stared in disbelief. One relative shouted, "Why, Angela? Why them?" She didn't answer. News of the traffic stop and what it uncovered spread quickly. Within hours, national outlets picked up the story. Social media lit up with theories, speculations, and outrage. Some accused law enforcement of withholding key information. Others wondered whether Angela had reached out for help and been ignored. But one detail stuck with everyone. If the deputy had noticed that smell, if he'd simply written her a ticket and let her drive away, those two bodies may have remained hidden for days, maybe weeks. The case could have gone cold before it even began. Instead, a simple traffic stop brought the truth to light. Now, prosecutors say they're preparing for a lengthy trial. Angela has been appointed a public defender. She's made no public statement, and investigators remain tight-lipped about possible motives, but behind closed doors, they're working to answer a question that no one wants to ask. What drives a mother to kill her own child? Was it despair, a mental break, a sick attempt at protection? Or was it something even darker, a premeditated decision to end two young lives for reasons only she understands? For now, Angela Strother sits in solitary confinement at the Kershaw County Detention Center. Her trial date is pending, and the families of the victims, and the officers who discovered the bodies, are left haunted by what might have gone unnoticed, if not for one broken taillight.